The WF-1000 XM5 might be around the corner, but Sony's not given up on its WF-1000 XM4 with a huge update, and neither should you, we think.
Goedendag, we're DHRME. Dudes hoping reliable multipoint exists.
So, Joel's comment talked about multipoint, and Sony has upgraded the WF-1000 XM4 and added multipoint to it. So you can connect it to a phone and a laptop, for example, at the same time. And you can pause music on one and play on the other. I gotta say, it's pretty good. What else about multipoint? So it can do LDAC, which means you can use LDAC and multipoint. At least I use LDAC on my phone and AAC on my laptop, and it seemed to do pretty well. Secondly, it has a full device list in the app. So you can connect from a device, disconnect from a device. You can fix audio to one device in case it's switching too much. And the best part is when I upgraded these older XM4s that we have here, it had a list of all the paired devices already in the app, which was really nice to see. And I could just switch between all the devices I have. So it's a very, very high quality implementation of multipoint. So what are we talking about here? Why are we talking about the WF-1000 XM4 in 2023? Well, we think it's still a pretty good product.
In the US at $278, we don't think it's worth it because there are much cheaper options now that sound great and do a lot of things well.
But in Europe, or at least in the Netherlands, at 190 euros, they're still a pretty solid buy. Remember, these are Sony's flagship, so you're getting a quality product here. Sure, they're not the top dog for noise cancelling anymore, but they're still pretty good. And you know what? They still sound fairly good, we'd say, especially for bass and metal, which are actually my use cases. Some things to consider which we don't think are the greatest is the comfort and the fit. The hybrid phone tips are kind of, how do you say it, polarizing. So they may give you a good passive seal, but a lot of people thought they were uncomfortable. I guess people are just more used to silicone tips. Secondly, and I think this is one of the biggest knocks from our perspective on the XM4, is for the Fuckman that these are poor at calls in noisy conditions. Now, just to be clear, at home, if you're working from home in a quiet environment, or even if you're outside and it's not noisy, these will work. But in terms of noise, they are really bad. Even Sony's LinkBuds S is way better for phone calls. Third is the limited touch customization. So now there are three sets of controls. There's volume control, ANC control, and media control. And you have to choose two out of these because one gets assigned to one earbud and the other to another one. And we think in this day and age, we don't want that compromise. We want all controls on the bud. So what else should you consider? What are some of the alternatives? Now, there are some better sounding buds, we think, in the market. The AirPods Pro 2 and the Samsung Buds 2 Pro come to mind from the bigger brands. The JBL Live Pro 2 and Jabra Elite 5 are also great all-rounders. And my personal favorite, the Oppo Enco X2, sounds really good. It's comfortable, it's pocketable, and it has volume control on bud. I really like the Oppo Enco X2. And the OnePlus Buds Pro 2, we didn't give it a great review because it didn't fit our ears well, but it also has multi-point and it sounds pretty good. So that's some of the, the expensive and the medium alternatives. And what about the budget alternatives? The Tozo X1, the One More Evo, Earfun Air Pro 3, Soundcore Liberty 4, Jabra Elite 5 we talked about, and the Edifier W240TN. All these are very good alternatives with their own pluses and minuses. So are the WF-1000 XM4 good value for money? It depends. In the US, we wouldn't think so, but at a sub $200 price, I think they start looking pretty good. What else should you consider? Well, we rattled off a whole list. And should you wait for the Sony WF-1000 XM5? Well, we think the WF-1000 XM5 is going to be Sony's best product yet. We really think so because Sony has already figured out phone calls with the LinkBuds S and the WH-1000 XM5. They know how to build a product in terms of constructing the physical product. They have LDAC, they have DSEE, they have this great app. I think Sony's poised for a winner with the WF-1000 XM5, but the price will really determine if people are going to buy it or not, because in a market where you're getting a new earbud every day almost, Sony has its job cut out for it.
You've been spending the present considering a past product with a new future.
And we've been DHRME. Namaste.